Okay, the laughter was not entirely inside, but years ago on the subway in NY, a crazy dude walks on the train and screams at everyone you're all going to hell and then steps off as the doors close. Total silence as the weirdness of the moment settles in. Then, without missing a beat, guy across from me goes, "Shit, I thought this train was going to Harlem." Entire subway car of cynical New Yorkers bursts out laughing. I wish I had the balls to make people crack up like that. Ha ha ha. His timing was completely perfect too. Some people are just natural comedians. I once was canoeing with my fiance for the first time and we were having a bit of trouble at first getting a rhythm going, so we were along the edge of the water hitting the canal. This random couple was walking along the wall and said to his wife while pointing at us, "Our canoeing, the true test of love." My fiance and I bursted into laughter for 20 minutes and then finally got our rhythm together. That guy canoes. I must have been about 10 or 11. I sat down on a bench next to an old guy to sort my shoe out. I took my shoe off and he just turns to me and says, "Are they golfing socks?" I look at him with a completely blank look on my face thinking WTF. As I looked away he just said, "There's a hole in one." May of 2000. Passing through Norwood, Louisiana with a friend. At around 2 in the afternoon we stopped to gas up, grab some snacks at the most podunk gas station known to man. A young man, extremely agitated, comes in with frustrated gestures and angrily shouts gestures at the cashier with an accent that is beyond region, beyond stereotyping, beyond anything I have heard before. Where the goddamned Wally Melans at the top of lungs, approaching hysteria and tears. This reminds me of the time I asked for directions in South Georgia and it went like this. Her. Go down there and take a left. Us. Aha. Her. Then go past the gas station. Us. Okay. Her. Then yawn yawn. Us. Yawn yawn. Her. Yeah. Then yawn yawn. Took us forever to realize she was saying then yawn your own. The college I attend frequently has local elementary and middle school kids on tours, especially on Fridays. One particular Friday I was in line for the cafeteria when a group of kids came walking by with a tour guide. One kinda chubby little dude looked a bit uncomfortable. He was biting his lip a little and sweating. This part of the tour is usually when they have a bathroom break, and clearly Buddy needed to go. At this point I should note that the bathrooms are visible from where we're standing, but the tour guide, a fellow student of mine, didn't seem to notice. She just kept going on and on, talking about the history of the building. I watched this kid go from nervous, to deeply anxious, to visibly clenching over a span of about 3 minutes. He's staring at the stick figure dude on the men's bathroom sign as if it was a risen Christ. Ms. Tour Guide takes a break in her spiel. I figure she's done. The next words out of her mouth will be ones to free this boy from the purgatory that is having to use a bathroom on a school trip. It'll be over. He'll be free. What followed, instead, was this. So in 1995, a professor named ABC Kalamazoo, "Move lady, I'm gonna shit my ass." He ran past her to the bathroom, and presumably destroyed it. Poor guy. Had the entire line in tears with laughter though. Edit. I'm not from Kalamazoo, and Professor Albert Buck Cornelius Kalamazoo isn't real. Sorry to crush Wile's dreams, but he does live, through all of our hearts. Also thanks for all the gold or whatever. It feels weird to get such attention, however fleeting, for just wanting some chicken tenders and witnessing a kid almost poop himself. I am stealing this for future endeavors of having to drop a deuce. Met a guy while camping a few years ago. He told us, matter-of-factly, that he was a redneck hippie back in the 60s. He was there for the sex and the drugs, but not so much that love and peace shit. We still crack up about that. When I was in Austin for a convention a few years ago, I had a taxi driver who described himself as a pot-smoking, gun-toting, hippie Texan. Dude was in his like 60s and regaled my friends and I with stories about bar fights, women, and one time he mouthed off to a cop about possibly having a gun on him. Worked at a smoke shop that sold electronic cigarettes years ago. A customer came in complaining that the new flavor made her pee smell funny. I couldn't keep a straight face when I said I wasn't sure if that was related. Then she says, "Oh, well it could be an STD or something I guess. Thanks," and walked out. Vapes come in asparagus flavor now. A few years ago I let my friend cut my hair. It did not go well. I was living in Philadelphia at the time and was walking through South Philly when I passed two strangers in the middle of the conversation. As I pass, one of them says to the other, "Hold up, I gotta talk to this guy." He proceeds to shout to me, "Yo, your hair looks like shit. Come over here." I was amused, partially because of his bluntness and partially because he wasn't wrong. I was curious, so I walked over to him. He says, "Look, a buddy of mine owns a barber shop 2 blocks away. Here's his business card. I'll write my name on there. If you mention that I sent you, he'll give you a good deal." Bruh, but seriously, take care of that shit. I never ended up going to his friend's shop, but I frequently use this story as the perfect example of Philly culture. Rude, blunt and in your face, yet somehow coming from a place of genuine care. Plus, it's fucking hilarious. A lot of cultures are like that. Chinese people will straight up tell you're fat, but only if they actually care. They'll be like, "Hey, you're too fat, but you'd be really pretty if you lost some weight. You should go to the gym." No so much said to me as overheard. Walking down the street with my fiance after dinner, a man and woman pass us. Very clearly I heard the man say, "And that's the second time I got crabs. I just keep a special little comb at the house now, just in case." I'm not sure of any particulars and have thought about that interaction often. So many questions. I know they heard me laugh though. Edit. Damn everyone. Thanks for all the great stories. Good to know there are so many jokers out there in the world. And that's the second time I got crabs is a throwaway joke from a scene open in the movie Super Troopers. They were messing with you. Exactly right. In high school we were walking down the hall to the buses and I heard two girls in a conversation that cracked me up and confused me. Girl 1, "Yeah, I'm going to random guy's house tonight," something to the effect of looking forward to it. Girl 2, "Ah, well, make sure you bring protection." Already kinda weird as they are just talking in the hall. Girl 1, "What? No, I'm not gonna be doing anything like that." Girl 2, "No, I meant like a knife or something." I've been laughing about that for a while now. An old man on the street with a big, jack-o'-lantern grin on his face and 2 chihuahuas under each arm loudly proclaiming to no one in particular, "I used to carry grenades. Now I carry dogs." A significant upgrade, of course. Edit. My first coin. Thanks. They're chihuahuas. They are practically the same thing. I was in the drive-thru of a Wendy's one time. An employee exited the building with his headphones on and was singing "Who Let the Dogs Out" at the top of his lungs. He saw me, stopped singing, and started walking away. A few seconds later he come up to my window and said, "Yes, that is what I'm listening to." Then he walked away. I laughed so hard at the whole situation. I used to be a smoker. One time a scruffy looking man asked me for a light. I told him I only had matches. It was very windy. He said, "That's okay. There's a trick to it. You light the match and then suck down real hard. You get a mouthful of sulfur that way, but you gotta have a trick when you're going 30 miles an hour on top of a tank." A friend of mine's grandpa was in THR Navy in World War II. You would not believe the conditions in which that man is capable of lighting a match, cigarette, and smoking the whole thing. Open field, 30 miles per hour winds, torrential rains, 2 acres away from a tornado, even in whiteout snowstorms. It's insanity to witness in person. Edit. Acre isn't a unit of distance. Okay. Just the other day checking out at the Cracker Barrel, the older gentleman ringing my wife up accidentally said, with all confidence, "Have a thank you." When I worked retail, I often told people, from a misheard Tom Waits lyric, "Our receipt is our gift to you." When my boyfriend checked out at a CVS and the long receipt printed, the cashier handed it to him and said, "Your scroll, sir." I would do the same to some of my regulars at Kroger that always ended up with an absurdly long receipt. I'd fold it up nicely and be like, "And today has earned you half a tree, my good sir." A few months ago I was waiting at a road crossing with loads of other strangers, waiting for the man to turn green. This was a busy main road in my city. A little girl on the other side of the road did the most accurate impression of the beep beep that the crossing makes so blind people know it's safe to cross, and the entire crowd of people just stepped into the road. I had seen her do it, so I stayed put, but I couldn't stop laughing. My girlfriend was confused. 50 adults pranked by one absolute genius 6-ish-year-old. It was magical. I was doing tech support over the phone for an internet company at a call center. I got a call from an elderly woman because her internet stopped working. After checking remotely that the modem was working and that there was no issues on her area, I was scheduling a visit from one of our technician when she suddenly says, "Oh, I know what happened. The cat was playing around the router yesterday, right? You think it took a cable or something? No, he probably took away the Wi-Fi. You mean like he moved the router? No, he probably took the airwaves of the Wi-Fi. You know how cats see things we can't. He surely say the Wi-Fi signal, grabbed it and took it away." It took all my willpower to not laugh in her face and finish the call. The cat probably ate the Wi-Fi waves. Don't worry, your connection should be restored in 6 to 8 hours.